Welcome to Best Most. I'm your host, Jose Jogo Gonzalez. This is the podcast where we ask the questions, what is the best or what is the most? For example, we ask questions like, what are the best movie foods and drinks to help you enjoy a movie at the theater? Or, what is the most impressive Beatles song? Before each episode, I ask our online community a question that our guests had chosen as our topic. I then go over the community's answers with our guests, and we also discuss our own answers. You can check out and answer the questions on the best.most.pod Instagram page. Join the conversation. Today's guest is a very technical dude who has been trying to get me to watch Heat, which I will at some point. He plays lead guitar in the band Conductora, does jiu-jitsu, and loves his coffee. Also, he has had great answers from our previous episodes, and I'm so stoked to welcome back to Best Most, John Estrada. What's up, John Estrada?
What's up, Jogo? Glad to be back.
Heck yeah. So today we answer the question, what is the best TV theme song? John chose this question. John Estrada, what made you choose this one?
You know, I think there's just so much to get into with this category, and I like a challenge. I know we should do a disclaimer. We're going to omit and miss out on so many songs that the listeners will be like, what about this one? They never talked about it. Like, we know we're going to miss some songs. That's okay. I think we're still going to have a pretty good conversation.
Yeah, that's true. We are going to miss out on a few of them. So, John, let's go into your community picks.
Got a couple. Again, thank you to everyone who answered. I'll just kind of rattle them off here. First one from my buddy Brandon Michael Vaughn, Quantum Leap. great sort of late 80s, early 90s show starring Scott Bakula. It took me a while. I actually did have to re-listen to it, but I forgot there was it kind of has like a spoken word and then like the song comes in, but we'll kind of touch on that theme. Matt McClary next, threw out some good ones. Taxi, Night Court, MASH. Again, just sort of like iconic like theme songs from like the era
Triple threat.
Oh, right there. Yeah, for sure. This next one, I know some people are going to be like, oh yeah. A good friend Yane put Golden Girls, which is kind of like a song we always kind of sing in our family every now and then. My late grandmother loved that show, so that was always like a nice sort of like song to hear for like sort of those memories to trigger back. Cousin Kaylee put a really good one, Wonder Years, the Joe Cocker cover of A Little Help from My Friends. You know, that show when it came out, like I think that was like a really good intro. And talking with my brother last night, Steve, he had a great one, The Greatest American Hero, which I kind of only know. I remember the show when it came out. I thought it was a little bit silly. Maybe I was too young for it. But for those who are like Seinfeld heads, they'll remember the episode where George records his answering machine to the theme. Where he goes, believe it or not, but George is at home. I love sort of like play that clip in my head. But that's the short list of my community responses. What do you got?
Well, let's go into your community answers real quick. So Golden Girls, that's a good one. I feel like I know all the lyrics to that song. The Joe Cocker cover of Just a Little Help from My Friends, it's a solid cover, dude. Really good song too. And it sets like the tone of the show really well too. One thing I think about like a really good theme song is that it sets the tone of the show. I think that one does a great job of doing so. Damn. Good answers. Really good answers. My community answers. Altered Vince chose the Cheers theme. It captures the mood and tone of the bar setting and the show. It feels good. Within the show, someone could jump on the piano in Cheers and play the theme, and the patrons would sing along. Yeah, I agree.
I have to cut in.
Yeah.
No, I have to cut in. That was one of my community. I forgot that was a community answer from my buddy AJ as well. He threw in Cheers, and I can't think of a better answer from the 80s.
Oh yeah, good job, AJ and Altered Vince. Let's see, Tristan, the audio guy, chose Wonder Woman from the 70s. Nice.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I'm sure it's amazing. Haran C chose Golden Girls. Great minds think alike. Stephen Joseph Craig he said, gotta be Cheers. Also, shout out to I Love Lucy and The Twilight Zone. Wait, maybe my answer is The Twilight Zone. Great answers. I'll just go and say that. Hello Becca chose Facts of Life. That's that song. You just like listen to it and you're like, the facts of life, and it just sticks in your head all day. And then if anybody else hears you singing it, it just kind of like bounces from person to person. My friend Catherine, she chose Batman Superman Adventures. And I don't think I've watched that show, but I don't know why I haven't watched that. I'm a total nerd. I watch a lot of like DC and Marvel animated features and stuff. So I think I'm just kind of late to the party on that one too. My brother, he chose Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. Just weird and funny. I love that show as a kid. That theme song is really good too.
That was a good answer.
Yeah. V De Leon, she chose Where Everybody Knows Your Name. Cheers. So everyone loves that show's theme, which is
Yeah,
great. David Antonio Garcia chose Twin Peaks. Such beautiful chords and such eerie energy too. I love that theme song.
great answer.
It sets up the show also really well. Kind of a little like moody, but also a little hokey in some way too, just like the show. Seems like there's a lot more there than the surface, and that's how the show is. Nina chose Game of Thrones. That dun 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 dun. Dun.
Catchy tune.
So those are my community answers. Let's go into your answers.
Okay. I really over prepared for this one, man. I gotta tell you. It got me thinking, and I was like, I don't know how I should go about this. And I was like, well, what is the TV theme song? And, what did they start from? And the first ones, when TV started, like all that was available for mass entertainment before then was like radio and cinema. So it's kind of like if you study these early themes, most of the composers worked in either radio or cinema, like doing scoring or, jingle writing. So, I kind of wanted to start in that era of kind of like, where do we come from and, where is it now kind of experience and sort of like looking at all of these like TV theme shows. Cause it's like, it's not quite a jingle used for a commercial, right? But you need it to be short enough to remember and not be sort of like its own song in itself. Although, well, like we talked about right now with like Wonder Years, some of them are their own songs in their own right, but
Yeah.
there's always gonna be rule breakers at work, right? So I guess to kind of like start off with a show we talked about in the last podcast, but sort of like one of the
Sure.
ultimate like heavy hitter theme songs is the I Love Lucy theme song, right? You hear it, you automatically know what
Yeah.
you're watching if you've watched the whole series. If you've never seen the series, I would argue that it's a pretty good song in and of itself, right? And sort of researching this
Yeah.
song, I learned that the guy who wrote it just kind of like wrote it as a one and done and didn't think the show was going to survive.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, what does that tell you? Like he kind of just figured that I'm just gonna like crank this one out, from his experience. I think he had more of a career doing film scores and whatnot. So the fact that he just kind of like churned that out and it becomes like this iconic song kind of like
Yeah.
sets the stage. And I Love Lucy came out in 1951, so that's like a long time ago. And throughout the 50s, when TV shows were coming out, you really get some other theme songs that are sort of like imprinted in most people's minds if they were born probably before 2000. The next show I'm going to talk about is Dragnet, which came out in 1951. But that song
Oh
is
yeah.
literally the famous dum 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 dum. Like that's where it comes from, like a procedural
Yeah.
show about like detectives. So there's that show from the 50s. The next show would be Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which has like the Funeral March of the
Uh,
Marionette song, and that kind of falls into the category. Well, that was its own song, but I think the story is that Alfred Hitchcock heard it and he knew he had to like have it and like part of his like work. And then sort of like rounding out the 50s, you get the Leave It to Beaver song. That's kind of like a
uh,
happy-go-lucky song about like, 1950s family life. And the guy who wrote that song, he actually wrote some other like pretty famous TV songs. Mr. Ed, the Addams Family song.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Famous
And
Mr. Ed.
yeah, and the Beverly Hillbillies song.
That's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean the guy knew what he was doing. And then the last two, I know you mentioned this one to round out the 50s would be Bonanza.
Allow me. Dun 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 dun
Yes.
dun 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 dun.
Right, exactly. And then here's the banger, The Twilight Zone, which doing some history, I think in the first season or the first episode, they had a different theme written by Bernard Herrmann, who did all of Orson Welles's like famous scores. But then
Uh-huh.
this French composer named Marius Constant, he did the classic one that we came to know and love with like the crazy atonal dissonance and like the pauses and then the bongos. Like such a great song.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
those are kind of like my top picks of the 50s, right? And like kind of like in looking at all those, like they're kind of kind of to that theme I just said, like, yeah, it makes sense that they would sort of be written by people who work in cinema, kind of like a lot of orchestral sounds, like scoring and whatnot. But then like when you get into the
Uh-huh.
60s, that's where it starts to kind of like change a lot. And this classic show that came out in 1960 has a very iconic theme song, the Andy Griffith Show, where it's just like snapping and
Oh yeah.
whistling, but it's a good theme song because it kind of fits like the simplicity of like the characters and like the theme. So I thought that one like definitely stood
Yeah.
out for like sort of like the beginning of the next era. And the guy who wrote that song, I think he wrote some other pretty good songs. He wrote the Dick Van Dyke Show theme song, That Girl, which is kind of like another sort of 60s show,
Mm.
and then the Mod Squad, which I'll get into later, and Harlem Nocturne, which is kind of like this like hard boiled kind of like detective show there. Now we're kind of like playing with jazz in a little bit. Latin jazz, it would be I Dream a Genie. The famous song that we know is actually from season two onwards. There was another different song for the first season.
So I Dream of Genie, the dun, 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 that was from season two.
Yeah, first season had a different
Okay.
song that wasn't as catchy, I think. And who knows why they made the decision to change it, but it's interesting how these decisions are made regardless because I think they're made the right way because now everyone knows that song or
Yeah, that was a banger of a theme song.
well, and then we sort of start to get into sort of like the times of like music, right? Like you think of like 60s like guitar sounds like the Munsters kind of has like that like surf guitar like jangle
Yeah,
to it, written by Jack Marshall, like just a catchy theme. And then
it's a
of
good
the
one.
same year, you get Batman, right? Another catchy uh theme, right? With like that surf guitar kind of like vibe to it, right? Everyone loves that
Oh yeah.
song.
Do you want me to sing it?
This if you want to sing, this is your podcast. Go ahead and sing it.
Let's see. Batman. 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 There you go.
Great lyrics.
You're welcome,
Such
everyone.
yeah, I loved it. I loved it. You have to sing this next one. Uh, and it's of the same year. And
Okay.
again, going with that theme of like sort of music of the times, like experimental Latin jazz, like surf guitar, Mission Impossible. You know, that's an iconic theme. Came out in the 60s. Written by a
Yes.
jazz composer named Lalo Schifrin. I love its use in Ace Ventura, by the way. Such a great scene for those that know what I'm talking about. I know I kind of like in sort of overglossing here, but I was like going for like what also stands out. There's a police show called Adam 12 and had like a very
Uh-huh.
dramatic score that could have been from a movie as well, but kind of set the tone for like most TV shows that came out afterwards about like law enforcement in uniform because every like show on TV before that where it was like about like law or like police, it was like a detective in like a suit or something, or like I think there was a show called like the Highwaymen or like the Highway Patrol, but it was not as like in your face as like Adam 12 was. And what's funny is that like I think the
Okay.
contrast of that, you get a different TV show called the Mod Squad, and that theme song's like pretty cool. It's got like this like psych rock sound, like the organs and horns and like a breakbeat kind of jam going on. Like it's like a sound. It's like, oh yeah, I could like totally like see like a psych band like covering this. And that whole show is like a different
That's
sort of
cool.
like antithesis to Adam 12, where it kind of taps into the counterculture. Uh, Kind of like a side note too, stars a very young Peggy Lipton,
Mhm.
who ends up being in a very important show in 1990 called Twin Peaks.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Did you watch all these shows too? Like Adam 12?
great question. I think the shows I watched the least were probably Mod Squad and Adam 12. But Mission Impossible was like on as reruns sometimes as a kid. Like we definitely watched bits of Andy Griffith's show, I Dream of Jeannie, Munsters, Batman. And this one show I actually didn't see as much, but definitely deserves its place in like 1960s top TV theme songs, and that's Hawaii Five O, which has been
Oh
covered a
yeah,
lot. Like you hear that song, you kind of know what's what it's about, and been like I think it said covered by the Ventures, and just like a great jam.
yeah, I can see that.
So, how about you? Have you seen any of these shows?
I've seen a few of those shows. Like you, a few episodes here and there. I didn't really watch Adam 12 or Mod Squad. I think those are more like my parents' shows when probably when they were younger too as well. But yeah, those are all really good. And also, I owe you a Mission Impossible. So let's see. Dun 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 dun. Da-da-da, 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 da-da. All right, that's all.
That's
But
good.
yeah, thanks. Some of those I was like, oh yeah, like Hawaii Five O, and I'm like, wait, I was blanking, so I was glad you didn't ask me to sing that one.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah, uh, great shows.
You ready for the 70s?
Yes, let's go into it.
I have a small list here. Again, as I was preparing for this show, I ran out of time. But I talked about the show in the last podcast, but is MASH, I think that's like a really good
Hmm.
song. Um,
Yeah, Suicide is Painless.
yeah, yeah, very, very fitting song and it's funny too, because it's like a comedy, right? But it's got this like very like very like somber theme to it.
Real quick, the song is called "Suicide is Painless." I'm not just saying like, "Hey, suicide is
Yes,
painless." It's the title of the song. Just a disclaimer. Sorry, go ahead.
I understand. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Um, I don't know what the title of this next song is, other than it's for Charlie's Angels. But that one's kind of like a banger song. It kind of has like the 70s disco arrangement. It's like a melody with the
Mhm.
horns. Um, Written by this person named Alan Ferguson in 1976. But he also wrote this other theme song for a really less known show called Barney Miller. It's like a New York cop show in the 70s. But look up Barney
Mhm.
Miller and listen to that theme song. Just like a really great funk jam.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. The last one I came up with like in the 70s, Laverne and Shirley, I think is like kind of
Oh
like one of
yeah.
those iconic songs. Had a nice callback from Wayne's World when they go to Milwaukee. But yeah, it's funny because Laverne and Shirley is a
Oh
spinoff from Happy Days. And I think that song
yeah.
is better than the Happy Days song. I tried to get into Happy Days as a kid. It's funny, not my cup of tea, but I understand sort of like the
Mm.
cultural significance that it had. Um, that's also a spin-off from a great movie, American Graffiti, which is a great
Oh
film.
yeah.
But it's funny how like the tone between American Graffiti and Happy Days is like so different. But those are like my 70s picks. I don't know any thoughts
Yeah.
on those.
American Graffiti. I haven't seen all of it. I know Harrison Ford's in that movie. Ron Howard, which was yeah, he played the same character, I believe. Um, yeah, that's a good movie from what I've seen. Yeah, I used to love Happy Days. I don't know, it is a pretty square kind of show, but it's kind of like a fun show
It's a safe show.
for sure. And there was also a spinoff. What's it? Joni Loves Chachi. I think that was a spinoff
Yeah.
to that show too as well. I totally forgot that theme song though. Laverne and Shirley. That we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Making our dreams come true. Now we're gonna get to like sort of like a crazy decade known as the 1980s. There's like whole new standards. I feel like the apex is set in the 80s. I gotta rattle off some like they're not bad, but I don't think I have time to go into them. But I think we mentioned this in sort of the community answers, right? We have Facts of Life, great song. Growing Pains.
Yeah.
Now that we found each other. Yeah, come on, great
Oh
song.
yeah,
Yeah, Family
yeah.
Ties.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
You remember the Family Ties
Family
song?
Ties.
What would you do, baby, without us?
Oh man, a real quick thing on that one. So one of my buddies and I, shout out to Saul Aridondo. He and I used to sing that song just like randomly because we used to go to practice. We were in a band called Stocking Roxy years ago.
I've heard of Stalking Roxy.
Oh heck yeah! I was the first bassist, not the best one, but the first one. But yeah, Saul and I would carpool, and we used to do the harmony to that song. That what do we do, baby? But I love, sha la la la, and like do like the full on harmony and really take it seriously. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all I got for that.
that song still lives on. Another good one that I just quick mention, Night Court. Just a great sort of like smooth,
Mm,
jazzy, jazz blues kind of vibe. Um,
yeah.
Pierce, we talked about that. And I don't know, I just remember this song as a kid because my parents watch it. Dallas, just like a very uh, I don't know, it's just a fun theme. It's kind of a feel good thing, but
Mm,
yeah. So those are like the quick lists. Again, just to kind of because I didn't really get into the weeds with those. They're honorable mentions, they're really good ones, but going back,
mm,
through the whole 80s, I really think these stand out, starting in 1980 with a show called Magnum PI with Tom Selleck. Do you remember that show
yeah.
as a kid?
Yeah, I do. I remember the mustache, the very iconic mustache that Tom Selleck had. So that was really cool. And the
Right.
Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Just great song. You get that like that little flying helicopter. It's like, oh yeah, this guy just plays by his own rules, and this is his theme music. But
Yeah.
again, good song written by this guy named Mike Post, who wrote some notables. He wrote for the theme song for a little show called Law and Order, which has that
Ding
like
ding
classic
ding
sort
ding
of like
ding ding ding.
yeah, that little jazzy thing. Like you hear that, there's like certain people who
Bam,
hear that show
bam,
like,
bam.
oh, drop everything. I need to see this show right now. Also,
Yeah.
same guy wrote 18. Love that song as a kid.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so good.
Definitely. He also wrote Quantum Leap. I think we mentioned that in the last podcast.
Damn, guy's really killing it.
He wrote Hill Street Blues as well, which is a pretty cool intro. And then another show he wrote for the theme song for LA Law. And I'm telling you, 80s is another sort of like level of new standards where people are like, you kind of get like one guy writing for like different shows and they're like pretty good. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
that. And then we kind of go into the mid 80s. I had to throw out Golden Girls. I think that one again, that was mentioned earlier, I think in our
Yeah.
community responses, but that's just like a standout song. Like it just
Yeah.
kind of resonates with the show. And looking at the history of that, apparently it was written by someone named Andrew Gold, who wrote it as like an actual like song to be released on like an LP or an EP. And then someone found it and they re-recorded it with like the version that you hear on the show, and that became like the iconic song for the series. And then not too long ago, I posted on Instagram, and it just came out of nowhere. And I think that's possibly why I also selected this category. But there's a TV show in the mid '80s called Valerie, which then was named Valerie's Family, and then it got renamed to the Hogan Family. But it's got this song called
Oh,
"Together
okay.
Through the Years," where Roberta Flack is singing on it, and just like a great song that just like cuts through. But that song
I
going back to like mid '80s like theme song, just like
mm,
just a banger. Again, I'm making a case that there's like new standards here. Apex is set like already. Like the song for Hogan Family, Together Through the Years,
mhm.
high production. Then you kind of get these other songs. Mr. Belvedere had a good song.
Oh,
Uh,
so good.
Yeah, right. Performed by another kind of like Together Through the Years. Leon Redbone was like the guy who did the vocals on that, kind of like that ragtime feel in there here. Um, and those set the stage for the. I'm gonna get to like a sort of a trifecta here, where these guys named Jesse Frederick and Bennett Salve write three theme songs. Nothing's gonna stop
Okay.
me now for Perfect Strangers. Everywhere You Look for Full House, and As Days Go By for Family Matters. They get an encore in the
Mm.
90s for Step by Step. But I
Oh
think
shit.
Perfect Strangers is like again, it's like this show's theme song is almost arguably better than the show. The show is great. I watched it as a kid. I think I watched it to the very end. I love
Yeah.
that show. But then you have Full House, right? Which takes off and becomes its own thing, and everyone loves that intro. And
Mm,
Family Matters, I thought was like a really good song as well, for like TV jingles or TV theme songs, I should
yeah.
say. So again, the '80s is just like setting the standard where I don't think it ever gets as high really because kind of rounding out the '80s theme for a show that you hear and you're like, oh, I know what this is a 19 I want to say 88 or 89 is Bad Boys
Mm.
by the by Inner Circle for Cops.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you want to talk about like theme songs for TV shows, like that one is like cemented in the legacy, I want to say. And it's again, it goes into that category
Yeah.
where it's a song and by itself, but used for this like purpose kind of makes a new meaning. And then finishing the 80s, we have a little show where the theme song is all keyboard mimicking a bass guitar and other instruments. And it's not really a theme song, but it's kind of like
Uh,
music that kind of like sets the stage for a comedian who opens every episode of the little TV show called Seinfeld, where it's kind of like the anti-theme song. Yeah, it's just like quick little like instrumental thing.
Yeah.
And again, that you have to, everyone thinks Seinfeld is 90s, but I threw it in the 80s because like I think it kind of like speaks to the time and like how music
Yeah.
technology was, how production values were, um, and whatnot. So, yeah, those are kind of like my picks in the 80s. But we're almost done with my rant here because I want to get into the 90s and the 2000s. I'm going to start the 90s with Twin Peaks by Angelo
Yeah.
Badalamenti. I think Twin Peaks
Hmm.
does a lot for television that no one realizes. And even in this
Yeah.
theme song, the theme song is like so great and it does fit the mood. I think you mentioned this earlier, right? It kind of like sets this like
Right.
ominous, mysterious, like where are we kind of fantasy dreamlike thing. I threw
Yeah.
out this next song. There's a TV show called Picket Fences, had a nice little piano
Oh yeah.
intro starring Kathy Baker and Tom Skerritt. Um,
I
early,
kind of loosely remember that show, but yeah.
yeah, small town police officer.
Hmm.
Don Cheadle got a start in that show, I want to say. Not a start, but I
Oh,
remember he was in that.
I didn't know that. Damn.
And Lauren Holly, who would become in uh
Oh,
it,
Dumb and Dumber,
yeah, Dumb and Dumber, before
right?
Dumb and Dumber. Yep.
There you go.
So,
Did you ever watch Northern Exposure?
I did not.
That's a really good theme song too. Good show actually too. I think it was on this. It came on after Picket Fences. That's kind of what
Ah,
I
that makes
would
sense.
make me think about that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. 90s again, different than the 80s, sort of like there's newer stuff coming out and sort of like the theme songs. And I
Hmm.
want to say this is kind of like the last decades where like decade where you have theme songs with words. You have shows like In Living Color, great intro, written and performed by Heavy D and Eddie F.
Oh, that's right. Damn.
Yeah, and then like Frasier, great theme song with lyrics. But then we
Yeah.
we sort of kind of like detour. We get like these like electric guitar kind of like jams like Beverly Hills 90210. Here's one, Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. A lot
I
of
think it's a
guitar
good
on that one.
yeah, I think it's a good theme song. And you know what's funny is like I started going through these, and I should have opened with this. I'm omitting a lot of animated TV shows or kid shows, but it
Oh yeah.
wasn't it wasn't until I got to like Power Rangers, that I started to think like, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of kid shows. I think the reason why I didn't want to talk about them as much is that I feel like kid shows in like the 80s, 90s, like or even in the last like 10, 15 years, like they're only to like a narrow view of like a generation, you know.
Yeah.
But one animated show I felt like was worth noting is the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and DuckTales theme songs, written by the same
Yeah.
guys. Great
Oh
songs.
really?
Yeah.
Damn man. Or like Darkwing Duck.
Same guy,
Uh,
I think.
really?
I think so. Yeah.
Gosh damn. Hitmaker right there.
Right there.
Gosh damn.
Exactly. I'm saying it's like raising the stakes. Good lyrics, right?
Yeah.
But then we start to sort of now we're in like 1993. X-Files is all instrumental, setting the mood, kind of like Twin Peaks. And then sort of the last one that I was like thinking of in the mid 90s, because that's kind of like when I sort of like stopped watching as much television that was new to a degree. You have Friends,
Hmm.
iconic theme song. And doing the research of this one, apparently they're going to try to get Shiny Happy People off by REM off the Out of Time album, but instead use this
Oh,
track.
really?
Yeah,
I don't know if people would have really
I
enjoyed
think they
that
made
as
the right
much, really.
decision.
Yeah, REM's great. I love that song too, with some of the members from B-52s, right? But it's like you also kind of connect that song from hearing it previously, but like I'd never heard the Friends theme before, so it's so distinct to that show. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like, can we get more 90s? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, I sort of like couldn't really think as much. I started looking at some lists. I was like, Yeah, and then like you get start getting to the late 90s and like the big TV shows that are out, like the theme songs are like they're good, but it's not like are really like in the public consciousness as much. Like South Park's theme song, I think is really good. I love
Oh
Primus.
yeah.
I think it works perfect for the show, right? But
Mhm.
you're really just speaking sort of like a narrow audience on that one, right? They're not as like ubiquitous as like all the other like theme songs from shows everyone remembers. And so I'm just gonna like finish my diatribe here.
Yeah, yeah. Good.
Actually, why don't you go into the like the late 90s if you could fill some out for me if you have any things that come to your head.
Well, I'll say one that comes to my head. It's the or America's Funniest Videos.
Great,
That
great choice.
that smoky voice of the singer.
Yeah,
Gosh damn. But yeah, that song was so good. Um, Step by Step we mentioned earlier. Step
yeah,
by Step. One thing. Okay, the TGIF, like all of those theme songs were bangers. I can sing those songs effortlessly. I'm not going to do it right now, but yeah, I think those also kind of like enhanced the show in some way. Like they already kind of like cued you into the fun that you're going to have, you know,
yeah,
in the episode or the show. It's almost like different theme songs get you ready for different tones of the show, which is probably a no-brainer, but S Law and Order, that boom 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 doom 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 doom.
yeah,
You're not gonna have fun. You're not gonna have fun in that show, but it's gonna be compelling. You know,
yeah,
like you're gonna be like, fuck, dude, we're gonna go into some weird ass case, and we're gonna like dive deep. That's what
yeah,
that song is saying, right? But
yeah.
like that step by step theme song is just like, okay, turn your brain off. We're gonna have a great time and enjoy. You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just in talking about step by step. I was like, yeah, it's kind of like the new wave Brady Bunch of the 90s. I was like, oh, Brady Bunch. That was the theme song. But then
Oh
I
yeah,
remembered, I'm like, that's one I probably left out. It's a classic song, but
yeah,
again, I know some people love it. Now I'm gonna sort of like finish off with like the 2000s and beyond.
yeah.
Um,
Heck yeah,
yeah, and I feel like this is kind of where like the words show up less and less in the TV theme songs, and like one of them that stands out is The Office. It's got that classic like quick little jingle. It's a great little, great little like intro. It kind of feeds into the vibe, like, hey, you're about to watch like a feel good, zany sort of environment,
yeah.
right?
Kind of
Um,
quirky a little.
yeah, right. And then every now and then it like really surprises you with some of the antics that Steve Carell would do that were just I don't think you can do anymore, but he definitely he definitely pushed the envelope and like some of the things he would
What
say
was
and
it?
do like
Prison Mike, something like that, right?
yeah, or just one of my favorite episodes is the Dundies. I don't remember that episode.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Lot of
yeah,
stuff. It's not aged well, but the fact that he went for it is just and then this is a theme song. Another great intro, Game of Thrones. I know it's kind of jumping like
yeah,
maybe 5 years ahead, 10 years, but
yeah.
in that same
Compelling.
vein, you have Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, you're not gonna have fun, but it's gonna be
Oh,
compelling. It's gonna be exciting, right? So yeah,
right.
great song.
There's a great show on HBO called The Leftovers. Again,
Mm.
not a lot of people I think tuned into it, but my wife and I watched it and just I can't recommend it enough. It's like a very like somber show, very philosophical.
Hmm.
Highly recommend it if you're not religious, if you are religious, because it just forces you to sort of like ponder of like what the hell's going on here. Um, and then moving on to sort of the last that I have on my list of like beyond 2000s, I really like the Better Call Saul theme. It's like super simple. It's got that nice bluesy guitar riff. Again, as a guitar player, like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And my wife, I was like talking to her, and she's like, "What about Narcos?" I was like, "Actually, that is a banger intro. You hear that one, and you're like, oh, I know what I'm signing up for." And
Oh yeah, that was a good
yeah,
one.
I think it's called Tuyo.
You know, like now that you can like stream things, right? Do you skip the intro a lot of times?
Honestly, I do because if I'm rewatching, it's probably just to like fill time, and I know my time is short
Hmm.
sometimes. But every now and then, I'll watch it. The show that I don't is *Halt and Catch Fire*. which I
Okay.
didn't put on this list, but it could. It definitely belongs on this list in 2000s and beyond because it's just a quick
Uh,
like electronic music kind of little jam that they do.
okay. I
But
guess
that
for me, I do. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was like, that's my list.
So I appreciate you kind of going in the history of theme songs, which that's a deep dive, and thank you for researching that. That's pretty awesome. I find myself kind of skipping a lot of theme songs when I watch shows, but the picks I have, I kind of don't. Actually, one of them I do. This is really fucking long. So my honorable mention is the Stranger Things theme.
Good pick.
Yeah, and I don't skip that one. I play that fucking song every single time. It's a great song.
Yep.
Runner up is Tales from the Crypt, the Tales from the Crypt show. I'll sing it really quick. It's amazing. Uh
You forgot the laughing of the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, Tales of the Crypt.
It's it's funny. I thought of that one too, and I forgot to list it, but definitely an honorable mention in the whole list of things.
Yeah, and again, setting up danger, setting up like a creepy time, you know? Although I would say like Stranger Things theme, I don't think it really sets up like danger. It sets up like a fucking cool dance party. It's such a good song, dude. I love that song.
Well, it's also meant to like harken back to the era it's trying to like,
True.
evoke.
True. It's a great song. And then my main pick is The Twilight Zone. It's just like that show evokes this feeling of like get ready for something serious and something like important, scary, and serious. And I really like that about that theme song. A few different things about Twilight Zone. Came out in 1959, ran for 5 seasons, 156 episodes, created and hosted by Rod Serling, which that guy is amazing. Very cool vibe to him too. Sci-fi horror suspense anthology series with social commentary. The iconic guitar-driven theme that they started using in season two's opening theme was written by French Romanian composer Marius Constant, which you mentioned before. And then also the piece was part of a library of cues commissioned by CBS for the series. The season one theme was composed by Bernard Herrmann. You know, I initially forgot about that the season one theme. Like I was like, what did it sound like? But I remember it more flourishes in this kind of a creepy sound.
It's good. Yeah, it's not a bad theme.
It's like just more dreamlike and like it feels more sci-fi. The piece for season two is technically titled Epitaph for a Twilight Zone, and it was part of a work made for hire for the library of CBS. Fun facts: Orson Welles was almost the host, but was too expensive.
Wow.
The title is a real military term for the point where a plane can no longer see the horizon, which I thought that was pretty interesting. The show was a launching pad for actors like William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Robert Redford, Ron Howard, and George Takei, as noted by Sci-Fi Wire. So, yeah, that's all I got. Do you have anything else to say about any of the picks?
You know, some honorable mentions. I think I mentioned one of them already. Is like you have those like categories of TV shows that have themes that are already songs. We talked about Wonder Years, right? You got the Joe Cocker version of "With a Little Help, My Friends." You got the Alfred
Mhm.
Hitchcock Funeral March of a Marionette. We all forget Married with Children. It's got the Frank Sinatra hit "Love and Marriage," right? It's funny because
Oh, yeah.
you grew up in the 80s, you
Yeah.
forget that it was an actual song by Frank Sinatra, but instead I just think of Al Bundy and his family. And then the copycat show that came out after that was Unhappily Ever After. I don't remember that one, but they used Hit the Road Jack by Ray Charles.
Yeah, it was with Bobcat Gold's whatever his name is, right?
Yeah,
Goldthwait
both
or
way. Yeah.
as the rabbit.
Yeah. Not a very good show from what I remember.
It wasn't a great show, but I remember having a big crush on the daughter at the time. The one who was like I forgot her name.
Nikki
She
Cox.
kind of looks like Jenny yeah, Nikki Cox, Jenny Lewis.
I think a lot of young guys from our generation remember Nikki Cox from that show.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kind of like Kelly Bundy too. She was definitely like a crush for many people. But yeah, those are good pulls too as well. So that has been our episode. John, again, thanks for joining us on this journey. Thanks for bringing it with the research and everything. Would you like to plug anything or give any shout outs?
Again, as I shouted out last time, shout out to my band, Conductora, all the members, Jen, Jonathan, Daisy. Shout out to Jen especially. I'm using her studio to record this episode because when you're a father of two kids in a small house, it's hard to find a quiet space for more than 5 minutes. So that's where I'm holed up right now, making this awesome podcast episode with you. But yeah, you can find our music Conductora on Apple Music. I'm trying not to plug Spotify anymore for ethical reasons, but that's just my own stuff. And yeah,
Same.
hope to be back playing shows. Hope you go get back into music as well. See you up on stage. Definitely talented. And who knows, maybe we'll collaborate on music one day. We already did a podcast together, so I think it went well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see. I've been getting that itch to play music lately. I kind of hit up a couple of people just to kind of like get together, possibly. But you know how that goes.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. Thank you to our online community for taking the time to answer the questions on the best.most.pod Instagram page. You make this even more fun and add to the conversation of the show. Thank you for listening. And also, thank you to John, too, because you have been like consistently answering these questions. And I truly appreciate it, man. But yeah, thank you so much, man.
For sure.
Again, remember, there are no guilty pleasures when it comes to music, movies, and all art preferences. Love what you love and enjoy what you enjoy. That connection is such a gift. Until the next time, take care and take care of each other. Bye bye.